Hello and welcome to our first video of a chain of videos on basics of crochet. My name is Rebecca and you are watching Grim Life, and today I'm going to be going over the base chain building of crochet, making your slip stitch, and then showing you how to do a single crochet. At the end you'll be able to make this practice swatch, which is 4 rows and 10 single crochets across. The only thing you guys are going to need is a crochet hook, some yarn. I'm using some cotton yarn that I enjoy using, and some scissors just to be able to cut that yarn when you're all finished with your swatch. So I'm going to leave this in frame for you guys. You can see as we move along. I'm just going to try and tidy it up a little bit, and let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make that slip stitch to get started. How I do it, there's many different ways to make a slip stitch, but this is how I do it, and I find it to be easiest to do it this way. So I take the yarn, I have the short end on my left, and I make a little loop. I take that loop, I twist it, and then I grab the long piece and pull it through to make another loop, and then that is your slip stitch. The most important thing with the slip stitch is you want it running on the long end, because that's going to be your working end, which is what we have right there. So since we have that good to go, I'm going to go ahead and insert my hook into that loop, and then we're ready to get started. So the first couple of things that you have to know is 1, how to hold your yarn, and 2, how to hold your hook. I hold my hook in the knife method, so it looks like I'm using a knife to cut something. There's also another method where you hold it like you're holding a pencil. I tried this a long time ago. It was not for me, so try both, see which one works better for you. Whatever you're most comfortable with, that's how you're going to end up doing it anyway. The same thing goes for holding your yarn. The basic way is to loop it around your pinky. Start over. So loop it around your pinky, bring it up above your index finger, back down, and then that's where your tension is. It's your pinky and your index finger. And then I like to hold the work, or the string that is the tail, with my middle finger and my thumb. So this is basically what it's going to look like when you're getting ready to start crocheting. Around your pinky, up and over your index finger, creating some tension, and then holding on to the work here. So let's go ahead and get started with that chain. The first thing you're going to do is yarn over. That is from the back over the top of the hook. You're going to grab onto the yarn with the hook and pull through the loop that was on the hook to begin with. And continue and repeat. So yarn over, grab it, pull through. Yarn over, grab it, pull through. So we're at 3. We're going to go to 11. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, 10, and 11. So there is our first chain. There we go. Get it laying correctly here. So that's our first chain. And then to do a single crochet, what you're going to do is you are going to start working in this chain you have created. You're going to go into the second chain from the hook, which this is the first chain, into the second, working in between the top and the bottom strands basically. You're going to yarn over, pull it through just like you did in a chain. Now you have 2 loops. You're going to yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And that is a single crochet. Let's see that one more time. Into the chain between the 2 strands, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through. That's your second one. So let's go ahead and complete this row, and we should end with 10 single crochets. As I go across, I will encourage you to practice the chain a little bit more before moving on. You want your stitches to be even, and I want you to be comfortable with working the chain since that is the base of the work. And this is going to be the base of the work of any flat work that you're doing. I say flat like rectangles, square, blankets, that kind of work. If you're working in rounds for like doilies, or you want to start making small stuffies, you'll see a couple of those that I have completed as well. Working in rounds is a little bit different. You can either start with a base chain or you can start with a magic ring, but we will get to that a little bit later. That is a little bit ahead of where we are right now, but just some things to look forward to in the future as you start learning crochet and enjoying it. All right, so we are at the end of our first little section of chains, and here's where we're going to go ahead and double check ourselves and make sure we have 10 stitches. You do that by counting your stitches, and your stitches are these little V areas. I like to think of it kind of as a braid because it does look kind of like a braid. So let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Perfect. We have the exact amount that we're supposed to have. So now what do? You have to turn. So in order to do that, we're going to chain 1. This chain is not the first single crochet of the row. This is merely to build height to keep your work even. And as you use your yarn, you're going to have to pull some more out so you don't have as much tension while you're crocheting. So that's what I just did. So we have our chain 1, and then you're going to turn the work. And this is so that you're working onto the back of your project. Once you have turned, you're going to work into that first single crochet. So we're going underneath both of the strands of the top of the stitch, but in between the stitch. So you can kind of see them right here, and then the middle of the next stitch is right there. Yarn over, pull through, got those same 2 loops that we had before, yarn over and pull through both of them. So that's your first single crochet of row 2. Let's look at that one more time. You're going to go into the middle of the stitch, underneath both of the strands of yarn of that single crochet, yarn over, 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull through both. And now you have 2 single crochets. Let's go ahead and work to the end here, so you can see what it looks like to turn one more time. And then I'm going to encourage you guys to continue to try this, work up until 4, and then as you feel more comfortable, you can continue working into bigger and bigger swatches. And this is the base of any blanket, truly. You can just chain 100. I know that sounds like a lot. Chain 100 and make a blanket doing this solely. If you didn't want to learn any other stitch, you guys can do that. You can do pot holders as well, or you can do washcloths. I do encourage you, if you use, if you want to make like a pot holder or a washcloth, to use cotton yarn. It holds up a little bit better, and it's going to last longer, and it's not going to potentially melt in heat like an acrylic one potentially could. Okay, so here at the end, we do have one more stitch to go into. It may not look like it because that first row was using the chain. So we do have this little stitch right here that we have to make sure that we get into to get to 10. So to do that, you're going to work underneath both, which sometimes can be hard, especially for me because I crochet really tight. Work underneath both of those strands of yarn, yarn over, pull through carefully, and go ahead and pull through both of those loops on your hook. And there you go. So you've got 2 rows of single crochet working. It's looking pretty good. So let's do that turn one more time. So again, you're going to chain 1, turn your work, then work into that first single crochet underneath both of the top, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. Let's see that one more time. I'm going to pull some more yarn out. All right, let's see that one more time. Through the center of the stitch, underneath both pieces of yarn of that stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. And there you have it. Now you're single crocheting. So like I said, go ahead and work on building it up to 4 or more if you like. Feel free to share any projects or problems that you're having. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments. Also, please drop in the comments if you think this color combination is easy enough to see. I was looking for a background and yarn and hook color that would make it easiest for you guys to see what was happening in the plane of view. So hopefully that worked out well. And happy crocheting. Thanks, everyone.